Hello everyone, this is Paras and today we are going to talk about events. I'm going to tell you how to become a pro host and successfully organize your events. As much as I love building communities, I love hosting house parties. As a matter of fact, there is a blog which I have written on my learnings which I have received from hosting a house party, which can make you a great community manager. So let's get into it. So today we will be covering what and why events, about events, which is event mix, then creating great community event experience, how you do that, and then ultimately measuring the community event success, the metrics. So what is an event? You can see a few images where on the right side I am hosting an event, and on the left side again I am hosting a meetup, which is a community meetup. And this is how they look like. People look at their faces, they're happy, they are enjoying, and even you are also happy. So if you look at the Google definition for events, it's basically structured physical virtual community gatherings hosted to bring members closer such that it contributes to their individual advancement towards the common community purpose. Events come in different shape and sizes, which we will discuss later. Why host events? You can just generally put content just like a newsletter. You can just keep on sharing content, people keep on consuming it. Then why you need to host events? Ultimately, the first benefit is the emotional connection which people get after being part of that event is amazing. It's at par. And the member connection which they will be getting through these events is ultimately going to affect your community. Second will be breaking the ice. So you want your new members and old members to gel up with each other, and I have seen it's a big trouble for new communities or for communities to actually make this transition happen. Events are the right place because you give them a chance to discuss and share things, and ultimately they become close to each other over shared knowledge. And then third will be potential members to your community platform. You can attract them just by events. You can do events internal or external, and your external events can actually invite a lot of other members from outside of the community and give them a chance to become part of the community. People always talk about a good host, which means that if you will be hosting an event in a really nice manner, which I'm going to tell you today how, you will ultimately be talked about, your event will ultimately be talked about, your community will ultimately be talked about, and you want to become the talk of the town with respect to your community because right people should know about you. So host events, and then ultimately you want increased engagement on your platform, on your community, which is a big trouble for every community manager, and you're getting that sorted just by hosting a good, sensible, meaningful event. And then you can in the end take some member testimonials, take some nice words which they have talked about, the experience which they have got from the event, and use it as a good testimonial and share it outside on social media. Tell other members and everyone about it. Capture more people just by their testimonials. You can do that. So those are the few reasons of hosting events. Event mix is basically type of events. You must have heard about event is like webinar. One speaker is talking and everybody is listening. So that is just one kind of event. Here we have broken it down into multiple ways, multiple types, depending on the members, depending on different criteria, which I'll be telling you. And I want you to use them in all the ways so that your community can have a diverse experience of these events. Just like that, the first one, open for everyone, which is like you create an event and you ask and you share it over on your personal social media, ask your other friends to share it on your social media. This is not a closed event for your members. This is open for everyone. You want to acquire new users, you want to acquire new members in your community, you can do that. On the other side, there is a member only event, which is basically members are only allowed to it. Let's say OnePlus brand, if you know. So if to become part of their events, you need to require a OnePlus phone, or you need to show them the IMI number which is there on the phone, and then you can become part of their event. So that is member only event, and then there is open for everyone kind of the event. The second one to many and many to many conversations. So what is one to many? One to many is the webinar which you're talking about, which we have already said, one speaker is sitting and he's talking to a lot of members. And then many to many is basically you creating some activities where your members are able to talk to each other. So that is many to many, and which creates a lot of engagement also, which is a different kind of an event when compared to one to many conversations. Then last 4 hours or distributed across days. So last 4 hours could be a small one-day conference, or a small half conference, mini conference, or a small 3-4 hour event, which can be like that. And then distributed across days could be like a hackathon or a 3-day conference which you are doing. So this is how you can break down your events in different parts. And then also another type is external speakers or highlighting internal community members. So you can do a panel discussion calling external speakers at one place, 4 or 5 speakers, bunch of questions, and they're interacting. Or you can call your community members, and then they are sharing the knowledge which they have learned, and doing the panel. So it's basically with your members or outside speakers. So those are the few kind of events you can see. You can have like 8 kind of different events in your community moving ahead. So don't try to just do the same thing and make it more monotonous. Moving ahead, you can see examples. There is panel discussion, there is one-to-many webinar, internal member catch-up, closed member only webinar. It's like just for the members, one-to-many but closed. Then conferences, which is like long hours, 3-day conferences. Then ask me anythings are there, which is basically you can do it in your community. In the chat room, you can ask your speaker to be online from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and tell your members that speaker will be online until these many hours. You can ask a question in the chat room. People can put their questions. Speaker can or whoever your guest speaker or mentor, whoever it is, expert is there in the community, can answer to those questions. So those are the different ways. Creating a great community event experience. How do you do that? So three ways I have divided it into: pre-event strategy, during event strategy, post-event strategy. It'll be very difficult to write down all the ideas here, but I have tried to write down major things, or to how to run a major event. You can at least learn it directly from here. Let's look at the pre-event strategy. Very basic steps. I just want you to keep that in mind, and whenever you plan your event, I want you to think through, go back to this PPT and see what I have shared with you. So start with preparing a list of potential topics and speakers. Basically, you want to know, and you should be ready to organize events once you will have a list of good speakers and good topics along with you. Then second will be identifying what value addition this event can bring to your community. So you need to understand this. Is this event bringing content to your community? Is this event bringing something else to your community? You need to understand that value which it will provide to your members. Then third will be utilizing your existing network to find relevant speakers. So it's always difficult to find speakers. You can always start with your company, your colleagues. You can start from there and then ask them if they know more people, if they know some right speakers, or then there can be someone who can become speaker, or ultimately it can be you who can be the speaker and you can start the event. And then picking up the platform, or if it's an offline event, then venue, social media posters, social media copies you need to create. That is also part of it. Then event, you need to do the distribution of the event on different platforms, registrations you need to start collecting. So that's why work on your distribution strategy, where all places you want to share it. If you have an email IDs, you can put email to your members. If you don't have that, then you can just share it on different social media channels. Then reminder emails to registered participants. So this is basically you should be ready with some small quick content which you can, if you have their contact numbers, you can quickly drop an SMS, or you can send an email like half an hour before. Hey guys, we are about to start in half an hour, be ready and be there. So this is basically as a reminder, helps your members to come back to and join the event. So these are the few tips which we have written. It's basically if you have an existing member base, do a poll to know which kind of topics they would like, because if we have picked up a topic which more members are liking, there are more chances that they will join, and you are doing an event because you want them to join. Then 10-15 minutes icebreakers. Plan those icebreakers so that people don't feel bored within the community. Then collaborate with other brands and communities. Obviously you want to amplify the reach, so you want to collaborate with other brands, other people who can help you in amplifying this. And then so also keep an agenda prepared, or whatever benefits the members will get by becoming part of your event. You need to list them down in your copies in your social media, and you need to share it everywhere. You need to tell them why they should be joining this event and how this will eventually help them. And then if you are running it on different tools, do a cross-checking beforehand. You plan the event. If it's Zoom, if it's Google Meets, you need to do that beforehand. Do a testing before you plan your event finally and announce it. Now during the event, what all things you need to keep in mind during event? So first thing will be welcome slides. Keep them in the background. As soon as member comes in, they should be knowing they are at the right place and something is happening. So you need to do that. Then again, do the introduction for yourself, for your important people, those who have supported in that event, your speakers, and anyone who you feel is really important to be announced. If you want to give some recognition to members, do that as well. Then play the ice-breaking thing which you have planned before, and make sure that your members are feeling welcomed, they are feeling engaged, because this is what you want. Communicate event moderation rules. So this is important. In the very starting, you tell them that you're not allowed to unmute yourself, or if it's an offline event, you're not allowed to shout and ask something, or what all things you want. So you need to tell them all those rules at the beginning of the session. And then in the background, if it's an online session, you can keep an open doc where members can put in their ideas, feedback, questions during the session. It's a really great best practice which can eventually help you collect a lot of ideas. More tips: picking a real-time content snippets from speakers. It's basically whenever a speaker is delivering something or member has said something, you can pick that up and post it on social media, tagging those people. It's like creating buzz during the event. It eventually helps you to attract more members. And then increasing brand social media engagement. So basically you should post a few photographs and saying, hey, our event is going on, our speaker is on fire and stuff like that, and then tag those members, tag those speakers in those stories, posts and stuff. And also make sure if it's an online event that you are moderating the chats really well, because a lot of members, they are not comfortable with the audio, and they will not be unmuting themselves. So make sure you have that in mind and you are moderating it really well. Post event, once your event is over, you need to keep that in mind, that you are actually saying thank you to a speaker and participants over the email. Don't forget that. You need to be grateful, and you need to tell that to your members and participants over the call. Then make a event highlight, kind of a summary of the event, what has happened, and tag everyone, your participants, speakers, and they're saying thank you and stuff like that. You can do that. And then whatever testimonials you're taking in that doc, if they're sharing, bring the testimonial and share with everyone that, see, this is the event which has happened, and this is how this member has loved the event, or this is what people are talking about this event. And then internal report, which is basically for yourself, and where you can involve your inner circle, your community team, to talk about what more can be done in this event. So you can always do that if you really are interested in running successful events. You can see how these screenshots, pre-event poll, asking members what kind of event they would like to do, take part in, or shout out from the communities. It's basically getting the distribution done by similar communities. When one community is supporting another one, you can always do that. And then the buzz during the event, you're creating the buzz by taking screenshots or by taking photographs of the event and sharing it on social media. So testimonials, you can say in this screenshot. Even highlights is basically where you write down the summary and tell everyone what we all discussed, and then tag everyone in that post. So that is the event highlights. Moving ahead, metrics. So what are the metrics which you need to keep in mind to successfully winning these events? First will be number of attendees versus number of registration, basically RSVP versus real number of people attending. That is the turnout percentage. Then interaction on the event platform, like how many messages or reactions or chat messages, poll responses has been done, if you have done, so that will be there. Social media mentions, if people are talking about you can always keep, if you want to grow that social media mention, what you can do, you can keep a small goodie or small winning prize or something for the members, whoever will create more buzz on social media. This eventually brings that gamification in this part. Then retention, if you are retaining members, if similar members are coming again and again, so you can do that. Then increase in engagement of existing members is ultimately how much engagement has been increased in your community, which you can check from this. And then increase in member count, and basically is your member count increasing and visitors are increasing, is more people are applying for the community, is also you can check. So these are the few community matrices which you can keep in mind while running these events. And then yeah, number of returning participants is again like, you know, how many members are coming back to your meetup. Talking about platforms, you can pick any of them, but these are divided with respect to different functionality they have. Let's say Zoom, which is again for closed sessions, idly 100 participants can go. Then you can use Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Live, which is more of like a one-to-many kind of a channel where you can call your speakers and do this. Then Icebreaker, Kahoot, Mentimeter, these are like engagement tools. Most of them are free for basic version. You can try it with your inner circle or with your few members. And then Wheel of Names is basically a lucky draw, which you can do at the end of the event to basically to stop people, to retain people until the end of the event. You can do this, putting names on of all the members on that wheel and then doing the draw. Hopins is basically a platform to run virtual conferences. If you want to do that, Hopin, Airmeet, these platforms are there to run virtual conferences, so you can also use them. Yeah, so these are the few ways through which you can run your event successfully. Keep the metrics in mind, keep the platforms in mind, keep the type of events in mind, don't forget the different types, and then pre, during and post strategies. Just give it a spin whenever you are planning your event next time. Just read them before, and that's about it. I hope that will help out. And this is it. That's the end of the session. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep building communities. Thank you.